Testing microphone check. I need somebody to let me know. Hold on. Yeah. I need somebody to let me know if you can hear me okay. As soon as you get in here, let me know if you can hear me okay. This is UGoddess. My name is UGoddess. A self-declared political commentator. Because I'm just sick of this shit. I'm tired. I need to talk about it. I want to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it with y'all. Whoever jumps in and joins me in this moment, we going to have this conversation. Who wants to talk politics? Let me know. And if you want to talk politics, I'm here for you. I'm all about it. The DNC versus the RNC, or the other way around, the RNC versus the DNC. Who been watching? Let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit, see if y'all join me. Let's see who comes in and joins me. I'm around. Are you around? Is anybody there? Is anybody out there? So this is basically just to talk about, like I said, the dueling national conventions, right? The dueling national conventions. Republicans went first about a month ago, and then the Democrats just wrapped theirs up last night. Who's been watching? Have you been watching? Do you care? There's a lot of energy on both sides. I've been paying attention. I've been watching. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to get some stuff off my chest, as I usually say, as I often will say. I want to get some stuff off my chest. But I need somebody to talk to. So come join me. Come join me. Come talk to me. Let's deal with this shit. We have to. We have no choice. We could ignore it, but you know, if you live in America or if you are in any way, you know, directly affected by what happens in this country, then you probably need to be or want to be a little bit in tune with what's going on. Just a little bit. It don't gotta be a lot. But yeah. One second. This is just what it is. So I've been watching, and you got to keep in mind, the Republican National Convention was just days after Trump got shot, after he, you know, got grazed. So when he was there, he's there with the big ass bandage on the side of his face. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in mind. There was a lot of emotions during that time because this man literally just missed being assassinated in front of the whole entire world. Live on TV. He almost died. Like, we seen it. It wasn't, you know, the worst injury in the world, but we all know if he would have turned just another couple centimeters to the right or to the left, we could have watched that man get assassinated right in front of our faces. So being that their national convention was just days after he almost got killed, shot, head splattered open right in front of the whole world, his convention was a little bit more, you know, emotional. It was a little bit more, I would say, reserved. It was quieter. It was more intense because he was fresh off of an assassination attempt. Anybody that's fresh off an assassination attempt, you know what I'm saying? The ambiance and the air is just going to be a little bit different. Smoke you, and I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I just decided to hop on here fresh off of, you know, the Democratic National Convention last night and the wrapping up. And I was just kind of weighing the differences between the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention. And I'm just saying that I'm giving the Republicans a little bit of grace because their national convention was a month ago and it was fresh off of Donald Trump almost getting assassinated in front of the world. So Thank you for joining us, Steve. Thank you for coming in and dropping a comment. If you're here with me, drop a comment so I can know you're here. I know you watching and I know you can hear me and you know that we here together. We're going to get through this together. So yes, I do give them a little bit of grace for sort of a lower energy. I felt like there was a lower energy. Don't get me wrong. People were screaming and clapping and doing all of that, but the energy was just a little off for the Republicans because they just went through a very scary time. It's a very scary time for all of us. I don't care if you're a Trump fan or not. You know what I'm saying? Seeing somebody almost get their head popped off right in front of your face is not very, it's not an easy thing to get through. It could be very traumatizing. So even though they only nicked the top of his ear, it still was a very traumatizing experience. So they had that going on their side. And then a month later, here come the Democrats. And the Democrats' energy was crazy. And energy does not win elections, obviously. Thank y'all for watching and listening. You listening while at work. Thank you for being here, all of y'all that's checking in. I appreciate you listening from work, from your car, from home, from wherever you at. I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. And I hope, you know what I'm saying, you have people in your life that make you proud and that you're making yourself proud. And I say this because of the way these conventions are set up. It's to build up, the nominee and to get people who may be undecided or a little bit on the fence to figure out and make a decision. Who do I want to be my president and why? You know what I'm saying? Is this person... Thank you for watching from your couch. I got ambulances going by. I don't know if y'all can hear that through my headphones, but I got ambulances going by. Okay, so Democrats just wrapped up their convention last night and the energy was just different. You know what I'm saying? Now Trump almost got physically and literally assassinated in front of our eyes. And Biden, you can say, was assassinated by his party. I don't know. That's kind of like how Trump is trying to tell it. The way how Trump tells a story, he acts like he was there. He is so hilarious. If I'm going to say anything about this man, if there's anything I can say about him, is he's a damn good entertainer. You got to give him that. You got to give him that. He's a damn good entertainer. He will tell you the story of how they removed Biden from the ticket as if he was literally there and he was in on all the talks. He was on speakerphone. He was in the corner of the room listening, and he was in on all the tricks and tips because he tells it as if he actually knows it. He's like, so they called him, right? And they was like, hey, yo, Joe, it's not happening for you, my guy. It's not happening for you. It's not going down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you thought that it was going to go or whatever you thought it was going to be. It's not that. You feel what I'm saying? And we just letting you know it's over for you, Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like the way how he tells the story is like he was there. He's like, it was a coup. And they told him, he says it as if it's quotes. They told him that if he don't step down, it's going to get real ugly. You feel what I'm saying? Like they threatened him and they told him they were going to invoke the 25th Amendment and they were going to tell everybody that he was bonkers. You feel what I'm saying? They were going to tell everybody that he was bonkers and everyone was going to believe it. And they were going to oust his ass in the most embarrassing way. So he had no choice but to say, you know what? All right, let me just gracefully bow out. And that's the way Trump tells it. He tells it as if he was actually there. I love it. I really do. It seems to just be dump on Trump. I still haven't heard how anyone is really... Thank you, Happy. Thank you. I'm going to get to that. I actually really was going to get to that. Substance versus entertainment. Substance versus performance. You feel what I'm saying? Because when it comes to performance, everybody gets an A+. Great job. Y'all all are really great orators, right? That's the word for speaking well, right? Y'all all are really good orators. Y'all all tell very good stories. And y'all all in your own way sound very convincing. But who's actually going to do some shit? Like, I've watched both these conventions and I'm still sort of struggling, not sort of, I'm actually struggling with trying to find the politician who said how they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Anyone can get up on stage and say, I'm going to fix all your problems. Like, that is so unrealistic, and no one should ever believe anything like that could ever be done. Anyone can get on stage and stand behind a podium and say, I'm going to make sure that you can pay for your groceries again. I'm going to make sure that you all are going to get health insurance. They act like they're just giving away health insurance, and they're not. On either side. It doesn't happen like that. And so this is what I took from Kamala's speech last night, since it's still fresh on my brain, because Kamala just spoke last night. She accepted the nomination of the Democratic Party to be the next president of the United States. Good for her. Congratulations there. She talked a lot about, and throughout the 3 nights, they talked a lot about upbringing. Like, where were you born? What kind of family were you born into? Rich versus poor. You know what I'm saying? Big city versus small town. City mouse versus country mouse. It's almost as if you were born into a family that did very well and was very successful and had money, then you just simply can't be for the middle class. You simply cannot be for the average Joe, because how can you relate to someone who was born into poverty or just born into simple means of life? You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I was born in a working class family, the working class versus the successful. You know what I'm saying? And that's sort of always how it's been, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump, you can't talk to me about average Joe problems. You cannot. You just can't talk to me about that. But the question we sort of have to ask ourselves is, do we want our politicians to be able to relate? Is it necessary? Is it mandatory? Is it a requirement that you were born into poverty or born into the middle class, which nowadays the middle class is just on the brink of poverty? Do we need our politicians to sort of understand and know what it is to grow up with very simple lifestyles? Working class families, the mommy and the daddy have to go out there and work. The house is not, it's a 2-bedroom house, but you got 5 kids. Everybody's sharing rooms and sleeping on top of each other. You wasn't broke to the point where, you went hungry at night, but you weren't eating steak for dinner. Like, do I need that person to be my politician to represent me? Beyonce magically expected to show up by speaking her into existence. So hold on, let me go back a couple of comments. I want to read your comments while I'm doing this little rant of mine. No blacks in her family at an OG event. Nobody was with who? With McCain? Am I reading that wrong? With melanin. Oh, sorry. Those words are very small on the screen because I'm using my cell phone. So my bad. We're going to talk about that too. Let's just get into it because, I'm not going to be able to stick to an agenda here if I'm reading your comments. I will say this, color. No, I get it. I got you. I'm with you, Trish. Let's talk about the black factor, okay? The X factor, the blackness or lack thereof of Kamala. For someone who is being accused of not being black, or we're sort of questioning, is she black? Did she ever say she was black? Did she ever embrace this blackness from the one half of her family that is her father's side of the family? So we can debate that. We can Google, we can go and look and find old interviews where she talks about being black and considering herself a black girl. So this is not so all of a sudden, as Trump has said to us, that all of a sudden she's black because she's pandering for our votes. But I will say this, for someone who we're not sure if she's black or black enough, or if she embraces her blackness, she sure did have a very black Democratic National Convention. She had a very black Democratic National Convention. I mean, you got Stevie Wonder, you got not Ludacris, I'm sorry. You got Little John, you got John Legend, you got D.L. Hughley, you got, who else? Who else was up in there? Oh, well, the Obamas, you know what I'm saying? You got the Obamas. Michelle Obama, you don't get much blacker than Michelle Obama. Oprah, I wouldn't say that about her, but Oprah was in the building, and these are Chicago natives, and the Democratic Convention was in Chicago. So you got black Chicago natives coming out the woodwork, coming on the stage. It was a very black sort of feeling. As a black person, I could say that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how white people felt about it, but to me, when you see like prominent black figures coming out and standing up on that stage, you know what I'm saying? And the music, you know what I'm saying? She had a DJ scratching, 2 turntables and a microphone, you know what I'm saying? It had a little bit of a ethnic, what y'all think? Had a little bit of an ethnic vibe. I was that roll call. Did you watch the roll call, Trish? Did you watch the roll call? The roll call, I felt like I was at a concert. It did not feel like a political event at all. And maybe that was what, that's the vibe that she was shooting for, was for us to feel like we were at an event. We were at a party. We were at a show, a concert, not a political event. It did not feel like that at all. You know what I'm saying? You had the DJ there. You had everybody rapping. And on the stage, you had the marching band effect that was going on and everything. It just felt like a party. And maybe that was the vibe that she wanted us. That's what she wanted us to feel like. You know what I'm saying? Because now, get it, ever since Trump started talking about her laugh, and listen, just in case y'all were wondering if I'm like Team Kamala or whatever, it's not that at all. I've done lives and I've done shows where I've said she needs to wipe the smile off her face. And that sounds terrible, doesn't it? Like, how are you going to be mad at someone for being happy? You know what I'm saying? Like, wipe the smile off your face. This is serious shit. And I'm not being mad at somebody for being happy. I'm just saying it's a time and a place. So now Trump has been talking about her laughter. She's always laughing and all of this. And he says, she's got the laugh of a maniac. She's psychotic. She's crazy. That crazy ass laugh. And so sort of on the other side, they've embraced it. And now they're like saying, this is the campaign of joy. This is going to be the presidency of joy. So, it's kind of risky doing that, because it's like, do you need your president to be joyful? I don't know if that's a requirement for me on my side, that my president is joyful and happy all the time. I don't know if I need my president skipping around and singing happy songs. Like, I need my president to get to work and be focused and serious. So, I guess that's that male versus female thing that's going on. Like, maybe if a man says that, then they're going to come across as misogynistic, but this is a woman saying that, so it's a stupid laugh. Trump doesn't like her laugh, you know what I'm saying? And I've even come out and said that she smiles too much, you know what I'm saying? I want to see her a little more serious. It's funny because I will say this as a black woman, it's a fine line. It's a fine line, because if we as black women, and this is obviously a very generalized statement, it's a generalized statement, but it's coming from experience. Okay, I need y'all to understand that. If we as black women walk around with a serious, focused look on our face, there's this little thing out there that's called the angry black woman syndrome, right? So we sort of don't want to be considered or looked upon as this angry black woman. We're so angry all the time, even though that anger really is just focus and determination. But when we have focus and determination on our face, it's angry black woman syndrome. You understand that? I need y'all to know that. And like I said, this is a generalized statement, but I can say this because I've experienced it. You understand what I'm saying? So when Trump is like, she's got that maniacal laugh, it's almost like I feel sort of bad for sort of agreeing with him that maybe she laughs or she smiles too much. And now the Democrats are embracing this as the campaign of joy and laughter and lightness. And it's almost like they're playing up her femininity in a way. Or it could be looked upon as that. Or they're playing down his masculinity or his seriousness. I don't know. It's kind of tricky for me, because I don't want to knock someone for being happy, but I just don't know if I need you happy all the time when we're in times of, serious incidents and stuff that's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. She talked a lot about upbringing. She talked a lot about abortion, right? She talked about guns, border safety, foreign diplomacy. I like hearing these things because a lot of times these politicians, they just say, vote for me, and I'm gonna make everything better. It's all about me because I'm the best. But it's like, what are you going to do? Trump does this too. He touches on these topics as well. But it's just so vague. It's just so general. It's just like, vote for me and I'm gonna keep you safe. How? I feel like Kamala went a little bit more into detail. The Democrats as a whole on their side went a little bit more into detail as to what they have done and what they want to do in the next term of presidency. You know what I'm saying? How are they going to keep the border safe? Yes, they are for helping immigrants. So there's this vast difference between one side or the other. Trump is like, get rid of them all. If you're here and you're illegal, it's going to be this mass deportation. And that's a scary take to stand on, because there are a lot of immigrants who are here legally who know and love people who are here illegally for whatever the reason may be. Now, when Trump is talking about dangerous people coming over the border and causing havoc in this country, that's one thing. But when you're talking about people who maybe were brought here as a child and were never legitimized to become citizens, when you talk about people who are here on student visas and maybe their visas expired, but they've started families, they've had children, and they got married here, and they never, solidified their citizenship. Every story could be different in one way or another. It doesn't necessarily mean if you're an illegal immigrant that you're a criminal. You know what I'm saying? So when Trump says mass deportation, that could turn a lot of people off. That can turn a lot of people off. And as far as the Democratic side, I hear a lot of people saying they're talking as if they haven't been in office for the last 4 years. They're talking as if they're taking over the reins from someone other than themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're saying what you're gonna do, but you're there already. So why hasn't it been done? That's such a valid point. That's such a valid point. They're talking as if they're running against Trump, who already is in the White House. But you're running against Trump, who's been 4 years removed from the White House. So all of these things that you're saying sort of about Trump hasn't happened in the last 4 years because he hasn't been in power. But you also have to remember that when he was in power, you guys, he did add how many Supreme Court justices? So things that are happening without him being in office are a direct circumstance or consequence of when he was in office and the things that he was able to put in place while he was in office. So although it's a valid point to say, you guys keep talking as if you're running against President Trump that's in office right now, but you're really running against yourselves because you've been there. You're there right now. You've been there since 2020. What have you done? Why hasn't it been done? And why do you need another term to get it done? You got to remember that they walked into a brand new Supreme Court that was put together by Donald Trump, and all the laws or whatever that he had signed into law while he was president. So I sort of see both sides. In New York, Happy loves legal immigrants. Illegals gotta go home. Come back when they do the right thing and fill out those forms. Absolutely. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, the ones who did it the right way, you got the ones who did it the right way, and you got the ones who did it the wrong way. But I just don't want us to paint all of the ones on this side who are doing it the wrong way with the same brush. I just don't want to paint them all with the same brush, because some of them do have a story. Some of them do actually have a reason why they're here illegally. That doesn't mean I'm saying that they should get away with anything or that they should be allowed to break the rules. They should have to follow the rules the same way the legal immigrants had to follow the rules. I 100% agree with that. I just don't want us to paint them all as criminals, and paint them with this broad brush as if they all came here to kill, rape, rob, and you know what I'm saying, and steal from the government. And we all know that that can't be the case. Abortion, Kamala is taking a chance, definitely, as running on this abortion. Abortion is one of the major subjects and topics of her campaign, right? So women, the thing about this is that women and women's bodies, and it's not just abortion, by the way, it's also IVF and, fertility treatments and things of that nature. This affects not just blue women. This affects all women. So that's where there could be some strengths there. Because imagine you're a Republican woman who had to have an abortion before. Abortions don't know party lines. There's no Republican abortion and Democrat abortion. There's just abortion. If there's a woman out there that is having a hard time getting pregnant and needs fertility treatments, that's not a red issue or a blue issue. That's a woman issue. So there's going to be women on both sides that are going to agree with wanting to abolish the overturning of Roe versus Wade, because they're going to need, there's Republican women out there that got daughters. Okay. They have daughters too. And you never know what could happen. Women, sometimes I feel like when people hear the word abortion, they think about irresponsible girls out there having sex and getting pregnant and just using abortion as birth control. Do those type of females exist? Of course. Sure. Absolutely. But we all know that there's more than one type of woman that requires an abortion, right? We can at least agree on that, right? Not everyone who needs an abortion was someone who was just irresponsibly having unprotected sex and oops, I got pregnant. It doesn't always happen that way. So this is a woman issue. This is not so much a Republican. This is not a Republican or a Democrat issue at all. This is an everybody issue, actually, because men, y'all are involved in the making of babies as well. Y'all have a say in this. Yes, it's the woman's body. Yes, it's the woman's body. She has a right to do with her body what she pleases. But men, y'all should have a say in whether or not, in a situation where you're in a relationship or something like that and a woman gets pregnant, she should be able to sit down and talk to you about how she feels, whether or not she wants to keep the child versus not keep the child. And you should be able to say your piece, whether or not she should keep the child or not keep the child. That's a relationship type issue. And then you have medical reasons why women need to have abortions. It could kill her. She could die if she has that baby. Medical issues for the baby as it's growing inside her stomach, and maybe there is a loss of life. The baby has passed away in her belly and needs to be removed. So there's lots of reasons why girls and women need to have abortions, and that's not just a Republican issue. That's a all human being issue. So we should never just paint those people with one broad brush either. So I'm curious to know how Republican women feel about this. But when you have Trump on stage saying things like Democrats want to kill babies after they're born, or Democrats want to give women abortions in the 9th month. In the 9th month, Donald. In the 9th month. The life of the mother has to be honored. Absolutely. Trump says states will choose. Yes, and the same thing. Okay, let's talk about education, because he feels the same way about the Department of Education. So when you hear Democrats saying Trump is not for teachers, Trump is not for education, Trump wants to burn your books, Trump has definitely come out and said several times publicly, this is not a secret, that he wants to get rid of the Department of Education. So that's why Democrats can take that and run with it. But he's saying he wants to get rid of the Department of Education and put that back into the hands of the states. He wants to get rid of, big government. He doesn't want federal government involved in education throughout the states, just like he did with abortion. He said he doesn't want the Supreme Court getting involved in that. He wants the states to pick and choose whether or not they want to legalize abortion. Connecticut, you want to legalize abortion? That's up to you. Alabama, you want to legalize abortion? That's up to you. New York, so on and so forth. So it's the same thing with the Department of Education. He does want to abolish the Department of Education. So he wants to give the power of education to the states. Hey, Connecticut, what do y'all need for your educational needs, for the upliftment of the education of the students in your state? What do you need specifically for your state? That kind of thing. She talks about guns a lot. She's not afraid to say that she wants to do an assault weapons ban. She wants to do responsible, common sense gun control. And that's a touchy subject. That's definitely a Republican versus Democrat subject, right? That's pretty much red versus blue. Of course, it's going to be a little bit on one side that disagrees and a little bit over here that disagrees. But for the most part, that's definitely a red versus blue type of topic. Republicans hear gun control and all they hear is gun confiscation. That's all they hear. Gun confiscation. She's going to take our guns. She wants to take our guns. That's what they hear. I hear gun control and I hear responsible gun purchasing. Like, if you're a responsible gun owner, I want you to have as many guns as you want for whatever the reasons are that you have for having guns, to protect your family, to protect your home, because you're a hunter, because you're a gun collector, because you were raised in a home where there was always a gun, because your father taught you how to shoot, your grandfather, you were in the military. There's so many reasons why you want to own a gun. Go ahead. I don't have a problem with that. I feel like when I hear gun control, I hear, if you're a responsible gun owner and you ain't trying to break no laws, why can't you go through a background check? If you're a responsible gun owner and you ain't trying to break no laws, why can't you wait 72 hours before you get your gun? I'm not understanding. Why is that such a big deal, gun owners? Gun owners that are opposed to gun legislation. Why is that such a big deal? I've heard, because I've asked this question of responsible gun owners. I know responsible gun owners, and the ones who are opposed to democratic gun legislation have said to me, slippery slope. Those two words, it's a slippery slope. Because if they start banning assault rifles, whatever an assault rifle may be, and if they start regulating how and when and why and what and where we buy our guns, they're just going to keep going and they're never going to stop. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand and I get that too. I really do. It's a touchy subject, but I really honestly feel neither Democrat nor Republican, just me, just UGoddess coming to you and saying, if you are a responsible gun owner, for whatever the reasons are that you want to have guns and you want to keep them in your home, why can't you just wait 72 hours to get your gun? If that means saving someone's life. If we look at it statistically and see that some of these mass shootings that have happened where people just go into grocery stores and light it up, people walk into a Family Dollar and light it up, they walk into schools and kill all the kids. A lot of times, y'all, true or false, they bought that gun the same day. They had been planning it for a while, and that's another story. Why didn't anybody know? Why didn't anybody intervene? Why wasn't anybody helping this person? Why didn't they see all the red flags? Why didn't they see that he was a loner? Why didn't they see that he was getting bullied? Why didn't they see that he was sad, depressed, angry? Why didn't anybody know that all he did was sit on his computer 18 to 24 hours a day? Why didn't his family pick up on all the signs? So there is that mental health aspect to it. Absolutely. But two things can be true. He also bought that gun the same day that he went and he killed 30 people. The same day that he went and he killed 15 people. The same day that he went and he killed 18 people. He bought the gun the same day. So responsible gun owners, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm not against you. I'm just saying, if you are a responsible gun owner and you ain't trying to go shoot up a grocery store, why can't you wait 72 hours to buy your gun? She talks about border safety. I love when Trump talks about border safety because he acts like the Democrats just are like, everybody come on in. Like, the way how he tells the story, the way how he tells it, it's like the Democrats just, if there's a door on the gate, they open the door, they kick that shit down and they say, come on everybody. I don't care if you if you from the worst gang, drug cartels, drug mules, we want your best, but we also want your worst. Everybody come on in. We are the country of illegal immigration. Like, if you let Trump tell it, that's what it sounds like is going on at the border. And Trump actually speaks a much better, a much more solid, a much more believable game, I feel like, when it comes to the border. You believe him when he says he's not gonna just let anybody through. Matter of fact, he ain't letting anybody through. He's not letting anybody through. I believe him. And when he says he's gonna send everybody home, I believe him. Kamala's side sounds too, too loosey-goosey, too nurturing, too nice. It's too nicey over there on that side. Landlord from Alabama says, I get it, I don't like it, but it is what it is. Are you talking about in regards to guns, or are you talking about the border? I just feel like on the Democratic side, it's too nicey over there, because they don't talk like they want to keep people out, because they're trying to say, like, we want to love everyone. We want to keep everybody in. We love everybody. We want to make sure everybody, gets a fair chance and a fair shot. Now, like I said, there are some people that are here illegally, but they have a story to tell. They have a reason behind it. There might be a legitimate reason why they are here illegally, especially children. Children didn't ask to come into this country illegally. Children didn't ask to be brought here and then not get citizenship. That's not their fault. Should we be sending back kids that were born in another country, that are here, have started going to school here, have started speaking English, have built a life here? This is kind of like the only country they know, and we're shipping them back to the country where they were born because their parents didn't do the right thing. Like, that almost seems so inhumane. So, like I said, I get it when it comes to dreamers, the students that are here that might need citizenship, or children that are here whose student visas ran out or expired or something like that. But the Democratic side just sounds too nicey. Trump's side sounds a lot more, I'm not playing around. I'm not playing with y'all. Don't do it. Don't come over here. Don't come over here. You come over here, I'm sending gas right back. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even do it if I was you. That's how Trump's side sounds. And it sounds a little safer. I'm not going to hold you. It sounds a little safer. Foreign diplomacy. Finally, I get to hear Kamala talk about talking to foreign leaders, because, like, I never hear her talking about that. And I'm not saying I've listened to every interview. I'm not saying that I've saw everything she's done as a vice president, but she's just not, like, out there like that as a vice president. So whether or not she has relationships with these foreign leaders, we know that Trump does. Trump has relationships with these foreign leaders. He's spoken to them. He's talked to them. Some of them like him, some of them don't. But he can sort of, like, flaunt that a little bit better, I feel, than Kamala. But last night she talked about having relationships with these foreign leaders and basically saying, like, look, I'm not going to be nicey with you like Trump is. She's basically saying, like, they like him because they know how egotistical he is. And they know how much he thrives off of being able to say, like, yeah, me and Kim Jong-un, we good friends. Like, I could call him right now. And be like, what up, though? You know what I'm saying? Kamala doesn't want to be friends with these people. She wants to hold the level of, I am the president of the United States. You are prime minister of your country, president, whatever, of your country. And we are going to have a relationship based off of that. We're not friends. I'm not here to be your friend. So it's almost like the opposite of the border, how I feel about the border, how Trump sounds more serious, more secure. It sounds more like a real plan for the border than Kamala. On the flip side of that, Kamala sounds a little more solid, a little more strong, a little more like, I'm not trying to be y'all friend. I'm just trying to get shit done. And if y'all, you know what I'm saying? If y'all want to get along with me, then we can do that. But I'm not trying to, I don't care if you like me or not. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. That's how I feel about Trump being being friends with foreign leaders versus Kamala. It's not about being friends. It's about setting a tone. And he did say something, like he was telling a story like, you know, when Biden is president, everybody went to war. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just started dropping bombs because they not scared of him. He said, but if he was to pick up the phone and be like, don't do that, they'll be like, oh, my bad. And they'll put all the guns and the bombs away. You know what I mean? It's just, Trump is an entertaining ass man. He's entertaining, man. His storytelling skills is out of this world. I could listen to him tell stories, but I don't know that I need my president to be able to tell a good story. You know what I'm saying? And it's also funny seeing, I wanted to talk about this too, seeing the speakers that came out for Trump versus the speakers who came out for Kamala. Seeing the speakers that came out for the Republican National Convention is hilarious to me, because these are people that Trump be talking mad shit about. Like, he has disparaged these people to no end. He's called their wives ugly. He's called them ugly, broke, stupid, dumb, incompetent. And here they all are on the stage saying, vote for Trump. And it's almost like, do they really mean it, or are they just sticking with their party lines? Because I've seen quite a few Republicans get on the stage at Kamala's convention and say, hey, yo, I'm a Republican. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, I don't even know how I got here, but I'm here because I definitely don't mess with that guy. I don't mess with him. I'm not about to lay down my integrity, lay down my beliefs and my morals and values just to say I voted for a Republican president. I'm not doing that. Republicans are standing up for her. So very interesting. Sounds good, but she has not put forth anything in 3 years. And I get that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was saying that earlier, like, her and Joe are out on the campaign trail saying this is a fight for freedom. This is a fight for the future. This is the most important election that you'll ever vote in your life. And it's like, but you guys do realize and understand that you're already in there, right? But see, there's that future versus past thing that I get when I listen to Trump and when I listen to Kamala. When I listen to Trump, it's a lot of like, let's take it back to the past when things were good. Let's make America great again. Let's make America rich again. Let's make America successful again. And I keep saying the question that we're asking is, when was that? When was that time period when America was great, rich, wealthy, successful? I need to know what time period you're talking about. You feel what I'm saying? So when Kamala and Joe are saying this is a fight for freedom, this is a fight for the future, I'm looking at it like they're not taking digs at themselves. They're more so saying that if we let Trump get back in there, we're going backwards. So we don't want to go backwards. We want to go forward. We're not going back. She hasn't gotten shit done, and all the crap she's promised should have gotten done. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, she hasn't gotten anything done as vice president. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't necessarily say she hasn't done anything in her years as vice president, because she has. You know, she's been a tiebreaker on very important laws that she had to step in and break the tie, right? Because the vice president does that when there's a deadlock in the Congress and the Senate. In the Congress. She has, you know, as a prosecutor and as an attorney general for California, she got a lot of stuff done for her state. But, you know, just making a blanket statement that like she hasn't done anything is a little bit misleading. But, you know, she wasn't the president either. That's why she's trying to be president, I guess, so that she could do more. You know what I'm saying? But we can't sit here and literally say she hasn't done anything. That wouldn't be fair, because that would be like saying Trump hasn't done anything. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want that to be said on either side if it's not true. Has your wallet seen the difference of what she's gotten done? Right. So a lot of people obviously are voting with their wallet. They're not voting with their heart. I could give two shits if you're black. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a minority. I don't care about none of that. I'm voting with my wallet. And that's another thing that really bothers me watching these conventions, y'all, is seeing these politicians, knowing how much money they make, And seeing them get up there and talk about my problems as a regular working average Joe. I don't need you trying to act like you relate to my problems. Because, some of them were saying Donald Trump is talking about helping the middle class. He don't even know what the inside of a grocery store look like. And that might be true, but they don't know what the inside of a grocery store look like either. When the last time you seen one of your local, I'm not even talking about the big guys. I'm not even talking about White House politicians. I'm talking about your local politician. When the last time you seen any of them in your local grocery store when you in the aisle shopping for steak and seeing them at ridiculous prices? Forget steak, chicken. Seeing them ridiculous prices on those family packs of chicken. When the last time have you been elbow to elbow with your local politician in the grocery store? I'll wait. That's definitely me. I would vote with my wallet if I was voting. Absolutely, vote with your wallet. Before 1971, when we left the gold standard, is when it was good economically. And as of this year, we don't have anything to back the dollar. They can print as much as they want. Well, look what happened during COVID, Happy. Look what happened during COVID, right? Landlord Alabama, I'm going to get to you too in a second. Look what happened during COVID. Where they find all that money from? They were sending people, not thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on what you did for a living back then. When you applied for, you know what I'm talking about. You applied for them PPP loans. They found a lot of money, did they not? They sent out thousands and there was people out here getting thousands and thousands of dollars during COVID. Where did that money come from? Now all of a sudden we broke again. Make America broke again. Landlord from Alabama, I would vote with my wallet too. So if you felt like when Trump was president, 2016 to 2020, that you had more money and the economy was just rolling along. It was a well-oiled machine. You felt like the pain was less at the gas pump. There was no pain at the pump. You felt like your paycheck looked a lot different back in 2016. You feel like when you went to the grocery store, you didn't feel like you were buying a car versus buying groceries. When you didn't have to make a decision between paying your utilities and paying your car note. If you felt like life was better between 2016 and 2020, you just might vote for Trump. You just might vote for Trump. But I just want you to think about it. The world today is not what it was 2016 through 2020. The world has changed. So whether or not that's at the hands of Trump or whether or not that's just the way the economy is rolling, because the economy works in cycles. You know what I'm saying? So if you felt like your pocket was a little bit thicker during Trump's years, that doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to get fatter a second time around. Just keep that in mind. Give everyone stimulus dollars, Happy says. We can print more. Instead of $1 for a loaf of bread, we pay $3. And that's just in a few years. Bigger food inflation since the Depression. So exactly. So that's why I get offended when I hear these politicians. Last night, I was listening to it. Or even rich people. Oprah, you're a billionaire, girl. I don't want to hear from you. I really don't. I'm sorry. You are the 1%. You are my op. You're literally my op, Oprah. I don't need you getting up there talking to me about the price of groceries, baby girl. Because you wouldn't even be able to tell me how much a dozen eggs costs. How much is a dozen eggs, Oprah? I'll wait. How much is a family-sized pack of chicken legs in the grocery store, Oprah? You know what I'm saying? How much is a pound of rice in the grocery store? You know what I'm saying? I just wish, I don't want to hear from them. I don't want to hear from her. I mean, that's great celebrity appeal to have Oprah backing you. Sure. Oprah is huge. Her demographic is mighty. But I don't want a girl like me, an average Joe like me. I don't want to hear from her. I don't want to hear her mouth. Pass me a lighter. I'm trying to smoke me. Oprah is literally the ops, man. She's the 1%, y'all. She ain't one of us. She not like us. She not like us. At the end of the day, Darren says he had more groceries in his cart when Trump was president. All right, so it's a good chance Darren, if he goes to the polls and he's got that choice to make, it's a good choice. He might lean to the right. I had more money in 21, but don't forget, 2021 under Trump might not necessarily be what 2025 under Trump is going to look like. That doesn't necessarily equate more money for you in 2025. You know what I'm saying? This is a new time. It's a new day. It's a new world. But yeah, like I said, the national convention on the Republican side was a little bit wah. But like I said, only because we have to remember that the boy just got shot like 3 days before. I said 3 days before the convention kicked off. So it's understandable that the mood was a little bit somber. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I had more fun watching the Democratic convention, but having fun does not equal votes. That does not equal my vote. And just in case y'all didn't know, I'm a black girl in a blue state, okay? I'm in a blue state. So no matter what I think, no matter what I do, no matter who my friends like or love, or what we all sit around and talk about when we get together and talk politics, my state is voting blue. Not to mention when Oprah and Dwayne telling us to send our dollars to Hawaii after the fire. Yep, I barely got the nickels to rub together. Yes, yep. And Trish says might be better though, coin flips on both sides. Absolutely. We only got two choices in a two-party system. This is a two-party system. We only got two choices, y'all. What's it gonna be? Blue or red? What's it gonna be? Yeah, I'm pretty black, landlord from Alabama. I don't know if you noticed, you know what I'm saying? I can't, and that's another thing. Not only am I a black girl in a blue state, I'm a black girl in a blue state that's gonna vote blue no matter what. It doesn't matter. Sorry, I know this is unpopular. This is pretty taboo to say. And we are not a swing state. We will never be a swing state. My one vote is not gonna make my state turn red or turn purple. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. We are blue all the way through and through. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter what I think. I'm just tired of being bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? I pay attention a lot more than I ever had before. I'm getting older now. So it's time for me to pay attention. When you're younger, you're just like, give me my paycheck and let me go about my business. When you get a little older, you start to pay attention to a few things a little bit more. That don't mean you got to be fully immersed in politics. You don't got to be fully immersed and follow everything that they do and say, because that shit will stress you out at the end of the day. And they all lie on both sides. And I hate it that there's only two sides. I absolutely hate it that there's only two sides. There should be more than just two parties. There's too many people that's willing to vote along party lines and never see the other side. Never pay attention to the other side. I watched the entire Republican National Convention. I watched the entire Democratic National Convention. You can't just be closed-minded and listen to one side because that's the way you were raised, or that's where you live, or that's what you think you're supposed to do, or based on your skin color, or your creeds, or your religion, or your sexual orientation. You know what I'm saying? Trump came out and said the Democrats want to put tampons in the boys' bathroom. I know 5 people off the top of my head that'll vote for him just for that. I swear on everything. When he talks about men competing in female sports, sign me up. I'm against that shit. That's why I say labels are for soup cans. I didn't make that up. An old Republican governor of mine said that. Labels are for soup cans. I don't want boys transitioning into girls playing on girls' soccer teams. No, I don't. And tampons in a boy's bathroom makes absolutely no sense. So sign me up there. I just said it. But I'm still a black girl in a blue state. Give me a candidate with an actual, working that I can support. All I hear is bickering and foolishness. Bickering over foolishness. Absolutely. I wonder if Oh yeah, I could actually put that message up. But sorry, I'm on my cell phone. I'm not used to really doing this on my cell phone. I usually be on my computer. By the way, let me just introduce myself before I go. I should have did this a long time ago. I'm so rude. Did y'all know my name is UGoddess? I'm so rude. My name is UGoddess, a black girl in a blue state. I'm a artist. I'm a rap artist. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I'm a poet. You know what I'm saying? That's the creative side of me. And I actually work in the corporate world. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on with me. And, I pay attention to both sides. I'm not on one side or the other. I just want what I feel like maybe could be best for the country. Or I could just walk around with my blinders on. I could just walk around with my blinders on and say, I don't care, because no matter who gets in there, I still got to get up and go to work in the morning. I still got to take care of my family. I still got to pay these bills. My light bill is not going to go up or down based on who's my president. You know how my light bill will be affected, or who will affect my light bill? My state representatives. That's who affects how my light bill looks when I get it in the mail. You understand what I'm saying? My attorney general fought for my state because he found out that the local power company in my state was just straight robbing us. He found out about it and he did something about it. The president is not going to do that for you in your state, wherever you at. I promise you that. The president is not going to do that for you. So whoever gets there is not going to affect whether or not my light bill goes up or down, but my local representatives will. So I pay more attention to my local representatives. But this is an election year, y'all. And Kamala, she got that energy. I'm not gonna hold you. That Democratic convention was super energized. And if you could turn that energy into votes, she definitely has a chance. She definitely has a chance. Hey, Free, what's going on? Yeah, I just hopped on here. To do some political shit. You're actually more towards the end. It's been about an hour. I'm actually getting ready to hop off of here. But I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. You know what I'm saying? You should never let nobody label you. Don't feel like you got to vote one way or another because of who you are or what you look like. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these people, these rich ass people, get on that podium and tell you that they feel your pain. It's an absolute lie, because no, they do not. But who is going to get in there and do what's best for us as a country? See, one thing about Republicans, they believe in small government. Small government. The less government involvement in your life, the better. Long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you living by the letter of the law, we're going to leave you alone. We're not involved in what you got going on. Your state can handle your business. Small government. That's Republicans' ideals. Democratic ideals is, let us help you. Come to us. Come this way. Give us all your problem. Give us your poor. Give us your hungry. Give us your sorrow. Give us your pain. Let us help you. Let us take care of you. Let us feed you. If you're hungry, we have bread rolls for you. Just make sure you knock the mold off on the side. If you need help paying your bills, come to us. We will give you money to pay your bills. Come to us, all you poor, all you downtrodden, all you middle class that are struggling. Average Joe, we're just like you. We're just like you. I remember Joe Biden was doing his speech on night one of the Democratic convention. This man had a nerve to get on the stage and say, I grew up in modest means. I wasn't rich growing up. We lived in a 3-bedroom house. I said, wait a minute. Joe. That is not relatable to someone who is poor. That's relatable to most people in the higher middle class section of the country. But the people in the lower middle class, they're living in apartments, Joe. And just because you live in an apartment, it don't mean that you're broke. Because, I'm sorry, we got loud cars going. Because in my state, in my city, apartments are not cheap. So please don't mistake me for saying that if you live in an apartment, that means you're impoverished. I'm just saying people who are impoverished cannot relate to you, Joe, getting on that stage and saying, I grew up in very modest means. You know, my family, we just had a three bedroom house. You know, nothing big, nothing to jump up and down about, nothing to write home about. It was just a 3 bedroom house. You know, my father went out there and he worked, and there was food on the table every night. Who are you trying to relate to when you say something like that? But the Democrats claim they're for us. And when I say us, the average Joe, they're for the middle class. Give us your poor, give us your hungry, give us your weak, give us your tired, and we will take care of you. So do you want to be taken care of by the government, blue? Or do you want to have the opportunity to take care of yourself and your own family by yourself, on your own, with a little help every now and then from your friends? Red. You know what I'm saying? Republicans ain't trying to take care of your ass. Republicans is telling you to get up, get out, and do something. Democrats is telling you, come to me and I'll take care of you. That's the way I've always looked at it. And it's, you know, listen, y'all. My name is UGoddess. Thank you so much for being here with me. We're going to talk again. The debate is on September, when is it? September 3rd or September 10th? The debate is coming up, y'all. I can't wait. I live for this debate. Not because I'm super political or it's going to help me to pick who I'm going to vote or not vote for, but because I live for the drama of this election. I live for the drama. I can't wait to see how these two are going to bump heads. We've already seen Biden and Trump. That's like watching LeBron dunk on a 5-year-old. Come on now. That wasn't fun. That wasn't entertaining. I admit it, y'all. But watching Kamala and Trump, I think that's going to be a little more fun. And I'm looking forward to the drama of it all. It ain't going to help me vote one way or another in most aspects. I'm more looking forward to the entertainment so that I can come back and report to y'all from my state, one of the bluest states on the East Coast, baby. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Go make dinner. Go cook your dinner. What time is it over here? It's 7 o'clock on the East Coast. If you haven't eaten yet, go get something to eat. Eat something healthy. Eat your vegetables. I love y'all. Thank you for joining me. Again, my name is UGoddess, Black Girl in a Blue State. Check out my channel. Check me out more often. You know what I'm saying? We can have some fun. Thank y'all for joining me.